Okay, so your back is bothering you. It's maybe not like a very sharp pain that was caused by something specific, but it's enough to kind of frustrate you, and you wake up and it feels tight and it kind of just bugs you all day. Well, welcome to being an adult. Lots of people have back pain, and it runs from just a mild aggravation to very severe. And the thing is if you were to kind of go and get it checked out, they would probably find something, because we're human beings that walk on 2 feet with a bunch of compression on us from gravity, and eventually our spine starts to degenerate just by living. So keep that in mind and know that getting stronger is the best thing you can do to kind of counteract all those things that just happen by getting older. I'm going to give you a few stretches that you can use to maybe make yourself feel a little bit better. I wouldn't suggest doing these stretches before you lift. It's going to overly fatigue and tax those muscles when we're going to want to use them in the lifts right after that. So these are best done after lifting, or maybe on a rest day, at any other point really. And know that they are kind of a passive treatment to the situation. They are not going to fix you. They are not going to keep you from getting hurt. They are simply stretches that are making you feel better. So perhaps if we're addressing some kind of tension and tightness in the muscles surrounding your back, if we can start to like alleviate some of that stress that you feel in that area, then hopefully you will feel good enough to go and train and get stronger, because I think getting stronger is what is ultimately going to make you feel better. Because the stronger you are, the more weight you can withstand, the more things you can do, the more useful you are, the more capable, all kinds of things that's going to make living and getting older with our bodies as they are better. So keep that in mind. Nothing I'm telling you today is going to protect you from getting hurt. Sometimes that just happens, right? But hopefully it will make you feel better, and it'll keep things feeling a little bit more mobile. There's nothing wrong with that. So all that out of the way, here's a couple stretches that I like, because most of the time when we're dealing with like a low back tightness, we're usually talking about some sort of tension or tightness or stress in the glutes. So like your butt and the hamstrings, sometimes the quads, things like that, that kind of start to pull on the low back. And that's where that kind of frustrating, aggravating tension and comes from. All right. So we're going to address some of that. One of the first ones I like is the pigeon. So bringing one leg in front of you, you're going to try and get from the knee to the toe, kind of perpendicular to the rest of your body. And keeping the back leg straight, you're just going to bring those hips down towards the ground. This is going to stretch out your glutes. So basically from the butt around to the side, down towards the knees. And you can kind of take this as slow as you want. I'll show it to you from the side. Again, you're trying to get that front foot into a perpendicular position from the rest of your body. Back leg is straight. You may find one side is a little bit tighter than the other. That's okay. And it may be actually what's kind of causing some of that tension. You can come down all the way if you are capable of that. If that is too hard, or alternatively, if it's too easy and you're not feeling a stretch, you can also use a bench or something elevated, a couch even, and you can put that same leg in the same position, and you can push maybe just a little bit further. So again, trying to get your foot, your bottom half of your leg, your shin in a perpendicular position to the rest of your body, keeping your hips square. So that's that pigeon stretch. Another one that we can do is a lunge stretch. So you're going to bring one foot up in front, keeping the knee over the heel. We don't want to go out way past the toe. And you're going to bring the hips forward. So now we're going to kind of work on those hip flexors. So keeping the hips square, you're gonna push your hips forward. Now, I don't want you to end up arching, right? We're not trying to stretch in that direction. We wanna move the whole hip forward. And so this is our first direction in that lunge stretch. You can also go ahead and put your hands down on the side, and then you might actually get a little bit of stretch on the front leg too. So let me show you that from the side. So again, front foot is forward enough that the knee is not going to track way over the toes, and you're just bringing the whole hip forward. So we're getting a nice stretch here down along the hip flexors, and we're pushing through that front foot. Now we can go ahead and add a couple directions to this. So again, you can kind of put your hands on the ground in front of you for that forward stretch, and you can stretch a little bit more, trying to get more mobile in the hips, pushing your whole body towards the ground. Then we can go ahead and walk the hands to the inside, trying to keep that knee out. We can get a little bit more of a stretch on the inside of that front leg. And then you can walk your hands onto the right side, and you're gonna get a little bit more in the hip of the back leg. So that's that kind of three-way directional lunge there. Another stretch that I would recommend would be the iron cross. So you're gonna lay on your back with your arms outstretched to the sides, and you're gonna take the opposite leg, so like your left leg, and you're gonna drop it to the opposite side, to your right side. And you're trying to keep this left arm on the ground, including the shoulder. And you can take your right hand and you're gonna push gently on your left knee. And you're just putting a little bit of pressure, so you're gonna feel a stretch here down along your left hip, into your glutes, and into your leg. And what I like to do is just go ahead and extend the leg just a little bit and pull it back. Just a nice slow movement, just to get a little dynamic stretch there as you're letting that knee fall even just a little bit more. And then when you switch sides, take the right knee up and over. Again, just a slight pressure with that left hand, trying to keep this shoulder on the ground, and just opening up that leg just a little bit to get a little bit more stretch, and so forth. Another stretch, especially if you're sitting at your desk at work and your back is feeling tight, you can go ahead and take your opposite foot up to your knee, and you're gonna take just a little bit of pressure on this knee and just lean forward. You're gonna get a nice stretch down from the glutes into the hips, outside of your leg. And this can be a really good one if you're just sitting for a long time, you're on a call or something and you can't get up, right? You just get a little stretch there. Speaking of, while you're sitting at your desk, go ahead and just relax your shoulders, and you can do some neck stretches, kind of pulling that neck or your ear towards your shoulder. Take it to the other side. Do a couple shoulder rolls to make sure you're not all hunched up, because even though that's not directly probably affecting your back, it is probably directly affecting your overall stress. So a couple shoulder rolls and then some neck rolls, nice and controlled. And I would suggest if you do those things, you can hold those stretches anywhere from like 30 seconds or so, maybe do 3 to 5 rounds, and see if that starts to make things feel a little bit better, getting a little bit of a stretch there. Do want to say one more, which is the couch stretch. So what you can do, you can actually use your couch, but you're going to bring that back foot up onto the edge of the couch, and you're going to keep your knee underneath you. Same thing when we were doing the lunge before. We don't want to kick that foot way out, and we don't want to bring it way back in, just so the knee is over the heel. And all we're going to do again is just stretch this front quad here. And so when we're doing that, we don't want to turn outside, right? And we also don't want to lean way back so that we're overextending. We just want to move the whole hip forward. And it's going to be a tight little stretch there. And so if that feels really tight, just hold it for a few seconds and then come back down and relax. Sometimes I find putting an actual couch pillow underneath can be really helpful, but loosening up your quads here, they may help alleviate some stress on your low back. Again, all of these things, right? They are hopefully just going to make you feel better so you can continue to train. Because the stronger you are, the better off you're going to be in the end. So I hope those work out. Let me know, and let's just keep on getting strong.